On 4th October 2024, the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs put a gazette notice giving immunity to Bill and Melinda Foundation. And what prompted the government to take that action? Then Kenyans moved to court, and on 14th, is it 14th or 29th? I think it was, 29th November. On 29th November, the High Court suspended that immunity. In this video, I want us to discuss two things. One, what is this that Kenyans are opposing? I want to put it in black and white. What is this from Bill Gates? What is this that it is about vaccination of animals? I also want to show you the connection between the dealers in Kenya Kwanza and this vaccination. Before I do that, I want you to watch what Bill Gates was saying here. See how he is saying that we have to do away with the beef and start processing synthetic beef. We have to do away with the cows. Otherwise, the only alternative is to vaccinate the animals to stop releasing 6% methane into the atmosphere, thereby raising the global temperatures. Who measured the percentage? Maybe Bill Gates can tell us. So watch, guys, here what Bill Gates is saying.
Australia is very blessed, whether it's wind or solar. It's quite phenomenal. And your land area per person, compared to, say, Singapore is pretty good. And so the opportunities created by a world that is getting rid of greenhouse gas emissions, Australia is rare in that the opportunities exceed the things you have to give up. You have to give up a large part of the, and eventually almost all of the coal mining activity. What happens with beef, my climate group, Breakthrough Energy, just announced literally today an investment in an Australian group called Ruminate that helps cows not be so much a source of methane emissions. So we have two paths to solving that. That's 6% of global emissions are cows who burp and fart methane to an extreme degree. You can either fix the cows to stop them doing that, or you can make beef without the cow. And both of those, will be pursued to see which one can lead to the best product in terms of taste, health, and cost.
In the early 1800s, America had about 60 million buffaloes. Today, America has about 9.4 cows, that is dairy cows, and about that 1.5 beef cattle. I want you to look at the figures. Yet we are not vaccinating the buffaloes. We are not vaccinating the horses. I think the horses in America are even more than the cattle. It is also worth noting that this idea of vaccinating animals has been rejected in Europe and America. So William Samuel Ruto is just gladly accepting the country to be used as a testing ground for Bill Gates to make money. Bill Gates is in agriculture. He wants to control the world population. If you control the food chain, if you control food and maybe oil, you control the world. You control everyone. And if you look at what is happening in China, because China is the greatest world polluter, and you compare to the emissions that are released by the cows, 6%, in which case I've said nobody can actually ascertain that the cows release 6% of methane in the atmosphere. In fact, the percentage of methane in the atmosphere is negligible. 0.0000 sijui what. It is negligible. If you compare to the emissions that are released in China and what is actually released by the cows, then you realize that we are in business. And Bill Gates has something that he wants to sell to Kenyans. And the Kenyan leadership has filled into the idea. They have bought the idea because it's all about money. It's all about making deals. I want you to see a company, an industrial power plant in China, then you compare to the carbon emissions that are released into the atmosphere or the methane gas by the ruminant through ferting. Watch these guys. So that is a coal-fired plant in China. And you can see what is happening into the atmosphere. And what we are seeing here is that William Samoei Ruto has not told Kenyans who is funding this activity. However, farmers are supposed to pay for the vaccination. And who will end up with the money? I don't know. The vets themselves have said they don't know anything about this vaccination. They don't even know why we are vaccinating animals. They have been left. There's no public participation. There is nothing. Nothing at all. When you look at Bill Gates, you see it's just about his business interest. And I'm sure he has a product he wants to sell to the world. Remember, this is a person who is now in vaccine industries. He's producing a lot of vaccines. Remember, this is a person who is actually selling issues to do with depopulating the world. Remember, processed food has been associated with health crisis in Europe and America. We have a health crisis, cancer, and many other diseases never seen in this world before. So Bill Gates is telling us we have to start printing meat. We have to have a meat printer. Because if you are going to produce synthetic meat, imagine meat produced in the lab. That is what Bill Gates is saying. And William Samoei Ruto cannot actually explain to Kenyans why we have to buy this idea. We have lived with the cows for many centuries. Because you see, what the government has been doing is to tell people the issue is not about fatting. It is the issue as per the Bill Gates, as you can see here. And we have to respect the animals' rights. Animals, their fat should be around in the atmosphere. And by the way, nature is a way of balancing itself. It doesn't require all these shenanigans. And I know what happens is that when something is being tested, when we accept to be used as guinea pigs, money changes hands. So when you see these guys trying to bring ideas, foreign ideas to us, yet we have been living with the animals. In fact, there are some communities who sleep with the animals in the cattle shed. You wonder why. Let us see the vaccination taking place in Europe and in America. Just like we saw in COVID, when we saw people dying and we knew that there was COVID. Though the effects of COVID are still with us. So what you can say here is that the government, the way they are marketing this thing, and the way they are trying to force it, by force, by fire, by everything, it is going to fail. How can you have lab-grown meat? How? So how is William Samoei Ruto going to defend this idea? Because now, it is now very, very clear that it is a foreign idea. It is something that is being tested because they want to do something. If Bill Gates is not checked, he is going to interfere with the population. He's going to interfere with what God created in this world. Why don't they plant the trees that have been cut Because why do, if they are interested with controlling carbon emissions, they have to control the way they use their energy, the way they pollute the atmosphere. That's the way to go. Let them plant billions and billions of trees. So let them not come here. Give some deals to deal makers in Kenya Kwanza administration, and then try to sell the idea to farmers. The farmers have said their cows, their choice. The cows have said it is their right to fat. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think William Samuel Ruto and his administration are in serious business with Bill Gates? What is this that is pushing him to have sleepless nights? Yet Kenyans don't want. Yet he does not want even to involve the vets. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, please like the video, share it, let people understand what Bill Gates is saying. Bye-bye.